All right, we're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Pandites podcasts. This is your boy Tambourine Panda with my boy over there, Bites. We've been doing this. We've been doing this every week now for the last few weeks, and before that, I was bringing guests on in our effort to try and discuss Facebook and the platform every week. So here we are, episode 3. Welcome in.
Episode 3.
Feel free to chit chat in the comments, folks. I'm trying not to, both Bites and I try not to answer every question or go for alerts, just to keep this as organic as possible. But if you have questions, we will do a Q&A session at the end of the podcast. So please make sure that you guys stick around and hold your questions to the end. Welcome in, Mr. Bites. How are you?
I have to say that your beard is looking even more burlier than before.
Yours is looking very nice too, man.
I keep mine trimmed down. But yours is something to be discussed, as it's absolutely. I think it should be like one of the 8th or 9th wonders of the world. We should go ahead and name it. Yeah.
Okay.
The panda beard.
The panda beard, 8th wonder of the world, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. So today we're gonna talk a couple of things here, as the description and title states. We've got a couple of Discord things we want to talk to you guys about. We want to talk about a couple of engagement factors in regards to Facebook, moderators, how to find moderators, how to choose moderators, things of that nature. So I don't know what you wanted to start off with today, Bites. If you want to start with the moderator thing, the comments, Discord, what did you want to work into the conversation first today, buddy?
Yeah, we can roll right into it. I think moderators is a really good choice. I don't know, a lot of people out there, they probably don't. Early on, they don't think about moderators, but I think it's a really important subject to bring up. How did you find your moderator? I should ask, really.
Well, as far as moderators, and I don't know if it's Harry Potter or what it is, man, but like it's almost like you don't choose the moderator chooses you, sort of thing. I honestly, like, I feel a little embarrassed, like, not knowing exactly the story of how Tori found my stream. But she found me, it clicked. It's like one of those things where, like, she and I are kind of we're friends now outside of the whole streaming thing. And she was just in there every single day. She was helping me with communication within the stream. She was helping bump me up there, man. She was sharing the stream out. She would always have something motivating, like, let's go, Panda, smash the reaction, leave a comment, and I'm like, this person isn't even a moderator of mine yet, like, and they're doing things that moderators should be doing. Same thing with Melinda too. She came over. I believe that was from you. Came over from for sure. Came over from Bites' community and everything, and it was just kind of a perfect match. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, like, for me personally, the moderator definitely found me, and I was like, I gotta catch these people. I gotta wrap them up, man. I gotta make them moderators before they, start becoming moderators for all these other streamers and then don't have enough time. So that's how Tori became my moderator, and by extension, Melinda. Now for you, I don't know if your process was a little different there. So if you want to explain your
No, I think my process was very similar to that. It was very organic running. So a moderator is someone that's around in your streams quite a bit. They hang out there, and they're already kind of doing the duties of a moderator by, like, engaging in chat often and kind of pushing people to like the page, follow, and kind of reaching out to other streamers. That's what I've kind of felt, is that a lot of my moderators have reached out to other streamers and been like, oh, you need to talk to this person here. That's how I found Panda. Was Tori was like, hey, you need to reach out to Panda, like, this is the guy. And I was like, oh, cool. And I started watching, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So it all kind of clicked. I remember that moment when you liked my page, and I was like, Panda, who's Panda? And then I went over your page, I started watching your streams, and I was like, cool. I was like, this guy's awesome. And then you invited me over for the podcast, and I was like, this is cool. this is exciting. Cool. So yeah, and that's what I think moderators kind of are those people that reach out and kind of put you off into a not almost an uncomfortable zone, but they help you network in a way. So I think finding a moderator is extremely important. And I think finding one early on is really good. And it's easy because you start running into it and you're like, these people are just constantly in your chat and you kind of know, you kind of know they're like, every time you log in, they're like the first, or they're in there playing games with you or whatever it is. And you're kind of like, man, like, so when Chloe was one of my first moderators and I was like, hey, do you want to be a moderator? And I asked her, and she's like, yeah. And it was as simple as that. She was, I was so nervous though when I asked. I was so nervous because I didn't have a moderator at the time. I was like, God, what if she turns me down? Like, what if she turns me down?
Now because I know you've got the whole moderation. Almost like you're putting out a job posting or something for moderators. So I want to get into that with you for a little bit. But it's funny you say that because I had Caitlin in my stream the other day and she's like, ooh, I just applied to be Bites' moderator and I'm so nervous. But it's
changed now. Yeah,
it's weird how the tables turn. Like I was the same way. I was like, oh, I want to ask Tori, but like, what if she says no, man? Like I'm so nervous, man. I need a good moderator though. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Yeah, the process has changed a little bit. Thank you, Sabina. I appreciate it. The process has changed quite a bit now because now I have to be very careful with who comes in because a moderator isn't just somebody who moderates the chat, okay? And if that's all you have is just someone who moderates the chat, I think you're missing a social aspect of it all. You're missing someone that you can confide in on, like, hey, does this work? Does this make sense? Or, man, that was a rough stream. Like, I just feel terrible, and they're there to like kind of pick you up for those kind of situations. And I think that's what you really need to realize when you're picking a moderator, not picking like just somebody to help you out, but you're picking like a friend, and they have to be ready for that because there's going to be a lot going into it. There's going to be a lot of like, you're going to see the different sides of a streamer. You're going to see the guy that like hops off the stream. He's like, man, what a great stream. Everybody, all right, have a good one. They click off and they're like, guys, I need to talk to you. Like, I feel like that was a terrible stream. I did bad. Like, what was wrong with me? Like, was I too vocal? Was I, what was this? And you don't know that happens in the background because a good streamer will keep that from everybody else, but there you always have to have those people that you confide into and ask about how they felt about the stream. Absolutely. And so that is a key when you're looking for a moderator. You have to know that those people are going to probably listen to you complain more than anything else. But that's the most important thing because we've got to get it off our chest to somebody, and we can't just hold it in, and it has to be somebody that's involved in the whole process all the way from the beginning. So that's the key of finding a good moderator, I think.
And it's it's interesting to talk about this sort of stuff too, because you're right, man. Like you bring up all the right, like, as a moderator, you kind of take on a little bit of a burden of dealing with that streamer, maybe venting to you or communicating with you. Like Tori does a lot of good work for me behind the scenes, trying to push the Discord or trying to make posts for me, and she does my thumbnail work and she does my schedule work. She also deals with me when I have a shitty stream and I want to talk to someone about it. So you're absolutely correct in that, like, you got to find, and as a moderator too, like, if you want to be one, listen to what Bites has to say. Like, prepare yourself to like take on that responsibility. It's not like work that we pay people for, streamers pay people for, but like it's I'm gonna say it, it's almost work that moderators should get paid for. You know what I mean? They should have some sort of, I feel like there should be some sort of like moderator like appreciation, not just like one time a year, but like these moderators do this sort of stuff for you without any kind of monetary compensation or anything like that. You know what I mean? So find a moderator that you're gonna click with, and moderators, if you're considering one, be prepared to take on the social aspect of that streamer's kind of career. You know what I mean? So it's a good point. And another point that I want to bring up too, and I don't know if you mentioned this, as far as like the whole moderator, community manager, editor sort of title on Facebook, but if you have a moderator, you don't necessarily want to label this person as a moderator, because what happens then is that person starts interacting as your page.
Yes.
Community managers are ideally the best way to go, because they have all of the privileges that a moderator does, but when they go to share the stream, say to their personal timeline, or they share it to a group, it's not acting like they're sharing it as your page. They're sharing it as themselves. So good point to bring up as far as streamers are concerned. If you have moderators, they should be community managers, not moderators.
Yes, yeah, community manager. Yeah, because one of the issues that we've seen on Facebook is when you're sharing it out as your page, Facebook can, I think Facebook allows pretty much like two shares, right? And that's one to your supporter group and one to your follow group, because Facebook kind of pushes that at the very beginning before you start up your stream. So that's a key. But like once you start streaming over that, oh, my stream disconnected for a second there. Can you still see me?
I can still see you. Yeah, your connection with me has been very clean this entire time. There's been a little bit of like weird like glitch thing happening like at the bottom of your picture every now and again.
Yeah,
and
I see that too.
I honestly think it's the broadcast app that you're using.
Okay, NVIDIA. Yeah. But yeah, I think it dropped down from 17 frames. There, it's back up. It's normal. There was just a little glitch in the matrix.
Okay, good.
But yeah, I think we kind of noticed that with all the shares, the massive amount of shares that you get, that can put you into a zone of on Facebook. That can put you into a zone of like pretty much share bombing, where it'll limit your reach even more than it already does, because Facebook doesn't like your page sharing out, because you'll see some people that'll share their page like 300 or 400 freaking times, and they did it themselves and they won't get any reach whatsoever from that. And that's kind of where we can tell from there. So definitely be careful with that, making them. And then also when they come in there, if you make them as a moderator of the page, they'll start commenting as you were saying, and that could be an issue, because people will be like, wait a minute, how's he streaming and talking back to me? Is this fake, or what is this? Is real?
Yeah, exactly. The one like, and if you have admins, it happens too. Like Lady Panda on my page will come in every now and again and be put on as me. But I wanted to that's exactly correct with those points that you bring up as far as sharing and stuff with moderators. Timeline shares, group share, whatever it is, but you don't want to be labeled as too spammy by Facebook. So yeah, make your people community managers, not moderators. Now I wanted to ask you specifically, because your process for finding a moderator has kind of evolved into into something more, I would, for lack of a better term, I suppose, a little bit more professional looking, bigger streamer kind of. Like I would expect what I see from you out of a bigger streamer that, is getting, big CCV and big reactions and engagements and all that sort of stuff. So if you want to go through your process there, maybe what prompted you to come up with that? Why that method now? And then what was compare that to what you.
So like when I first started, like I was just trying to get views out there. I was trying to get like people to come in, and these people were there from the very beginning. That's how kind of they got to mods, all the way up until I think Bina and Debbie were the first mods that I picked up that I didn't just pick out. I looked at them and I was like, okay, hey, like here are two people that are very active, and then we also put it out there and we said, hey, if anybody's interested, let me know. Just tell us a little bit about yourself. And I got about, I don't know, 5 or 6 messages from that, right?
Sure.
But now that we've increased that threshold, before that everybody was like, hey, this person's really active in your chat and they're interested in being a mod, and so I can't. That's how they came into that kind of position. And I mean, we looked over it and we made sure, and it was all like word of mouth, like, hey, this person's awesome and all of that. So that helped out a lot. But now I'm streaming for, a lot more people, and there's a lot more going on. So I kind of want to now I'm assigning like for strengths, like Tori is like, really good with editorial work, like just making sure like thumbnails and schedules and like, doing little stuff like that. Like all my stickers for supporter chat are all over there. So that's all her, and I think that's really important. And we kind of see like Bina's moving forward with like making a TikTok, and she seems to make one like almost every day, every other day if she can. And so they're kind of taking on these roles that they're interested in. And so now like we got to find people not only that are qualified and that'll fit in with our, our little moderator group, but they'll also bring something to the table that can help out promote the channel, because that's the whole point. And these people believe in you for a reason, and they want to help you succeed. Like, and like you could try to pay the mods, or you could try to give them money, and most of the time they're going to be like, no, like it's just, I don't, like you could try your best. You can sneak some stuff on them every once in a while,
Tori,
and that's the best way to do it.
I'm looking at you, Tori.
But yeah, like, but there's definitely something to that. Like, it shows that they believe in who you are and where you're going, and they want to help out with that. And I think that's the real key here for finding a moderator. You don't want somebody who's like, yeah, the mods are just in it for love, you know, like they're just there to like help you out and get you where you need to go, you know. And you have to, as a moderator, you have to be careful because there's also toxic streamers out there.
Oh yeah,
you have to be careful in the situations that you get yourself into. Make sure you've known the streamer for a while and before you get into it, because and make sure that you're able to like push out of there if there's any issues with that.
Sure.
Because I've seen that happen quite a few times, surprisingly, where it's just not a good like working environment. So be careful of that and make sure you get out of there as quick as possible if something starts going weird too.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. and it's really cool to see kind of, you know, someone in the bubble here kind of take that moderator step to the next level. You know, for me personally, it's more of an like, I'm not saying that like yours isn't more organic, but like more finding who the moderator is through who's in my like streams and stuff, as opposed to like doing an application process or anything like that. And that could be something that like we do in the future should we grow, when we grow more. It's not should we grow, it's when we grow more, damn it. But you know, when we grow more. But it's definitely cool to see, you know, the more kind of stylized or formatted way of finding these sorts of things. And you're absolutely right, man. Like, I ask Tori all the time, I'm like, please let me do something for you. Like, let me, I bought her Final Fantasy 14 and she's like, don't ever buy me anything ever again. I do this because I love you. Like, you know what I mean? So it's...
Yeah, you get in trouble for it. Yeah, 100%.
For sure. Now, you know, as far as moderators are concerned, you know, you were talking about Sabina, you know, helping you with TikTok and everything like that.
Yeah.
One person that we can both kind of speak to has been, you know, very helpful for the two of us is Chloe. Chloe and kind of driving that whole Discord thing. Now... You know, I wanted to kind of move into the whole like social aspect of being a moderator, and then, you know, kind of segue into the Discord aspect of the social aspect of your page. So like for me right now with Discord, like what Tori is doing a fantastic job of coming up with ideas and putting stuff out there. We're doing a watch party for WandaVision on Sunday. Thanks, babe. Sorry, my queen giving me my food here. What's up? One sandwich.
Oh no. Okay. All right.
One sandwich.
One sandwich.
Sorry, we gotta figure out the goods here.
Yeah, no, I think 100%. I think 100% with that. Like what you're saying is Chloe. Yeah. Well, for one, like Tori also. Tori is a moderator of both me and you. And she helps us out tremendously with getting stuff done. But yeah, Chloe is the Discord queen, obviously. And she has been helping set up our Discord, which we're pretty happy to announce it's open right now.
Officially.
For all the streamers. Officially open. Yeah. If you look down in our pinned comments, you'll see the new Discord link. But this is going to be specifically for streamers. If you're a viewer, you can hop in there. But this is mainly for streamers. And this is just talking about the algorithm, asking questions, you know, kind of sharing ideas and content and all of that, so that we can kind of come together, because all we have right now is the creator, what is it, the Level Up program group, right?
Right. Oh my god.
It's bad. It's so bad. You know, it's like a really bad advice across the board. And we're just, you know, we've created this Discord for a place for everybody to go, streamer wise, no matter how big, how small. And it's a place that we can kind of communicate on the things that are going on, and stuff like that. So, and ask questions. And then we're going to bring those questions into the stream on Saturdays to kind of be like, okay, you know, we talked about this in our Discord. This is what's going on. This is why you think you should do this instead of this. And, you know, we'll be able to research those questions even more so we can talk more educated on them. But yeah, I think it'll be a really good place for people to go. And one thing we do not want is self-promotion. No self-promotion whatsoever. We don't want, hey, I just saw your page and I followed it. can you go over and do mine? If I see that, we're going to kick you out, and you're not going to get the information that you need. And if you're like hassling people for collabs, like, we don't want any of that. We just want this to be like, hey, I had a bad stream. I didn't get any new viewers, no new followers. I don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, here's what I saw. I looked at my recommendation percentage, my follower percentage, my demographics. That's what that's there for. Yes,
exactly. And that way we can talk about it. And it's not, and we don't want it to turn into a follow for follow or a collaboration group. We don't want any of that. We just want there to be serious talks about algorithm issues and stuff going on with the stream. And that way, it's just more positive, because we want big streamers in there too, and small streamers alike, right? But the last thing you want to do is be like, hey, you want to do a collab? You're in here, I'm in here, let's do it. And then they're like, no, and then they feel like awkward.
Right.
We don't want that. We don't want that at all, because it's just it'll make it awkward, and I just don't want to do that. So, self promotion, all of that. Now, if you're like, hey, can you guys check out my page? Like, not for a follow, but like, hey, can you look at it and look at the numbers across there? Yeah. Fine with that, and we can go in there and I love looking at that and be like, okay, your last 3 videos, you got 40, 50, and then now you're getting 20 reactions. What happened between that? What's your thumbnails look like? Right. Can you send me these two, the insights on these 2 videos, and then we can look through there and help each other out. And I think that's the real key right there. So just FYI, if you guys want to join that, that's the Discord, pin comment, and that way we can better answer questions throughout the week. And we can research those questions and figure out and know even more, so that we can give more information to you guys out there.
Right. Bites and I have kind of taken on this mantle of like, nobody talks about Facebook gaming anywhere.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. And we want to be the guys that like we're not always going to be right about things. And most of the stuff that we talk about are things that we've seen or numbers that we've gathered. But like, always keep in mind with this sort of stuff too, like when we talk about stuff, it's not like we've got some representative from Facebook like back there whispering into our ear going like, say this is what you say, like this is what's going on. Like, we're just basing stuff off of anecdotal evidence and number evidence, and then trying to formulate like what we think is going on based on those 2 factors. So sometimes we might get it right, sometimes we might be way off the mark, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's what that Discord is, to kind of discuss like, hey, what are you seeing with your page, or what are you seeing this week? Hey, Panda, what are you seeing? Bites, what are you seeing this week? What's going on with your page and stuff like that. So it's a way for streamers to have, I guess, kind of a for lack of a better phrase, safe space to discuss their numbers without the penalty of having Facebook come back at them anyway negatively through Twitter or through Facebook or through, talking about this somewhere where they're watching, you know what I mean? So yeah, exactly. This is a way for us to figure it out together, because we're not getting answers that we want. We're not getting information from anybody else. So we got to do this ourselves. Correct.
And I think right now where we're sitting, it's in a gray area of, how long has Facebook been around? How long have other streaming services been around? And then where do we want to go from here? And I think if we work together, we'll definitely come out on top with that. And this isn't about just, me or Panda growing or anything like that. This is about us growing all together, right? Because, if the people around me aren't growing and I am, like, I want to know why, for one, but I want them to grow with me, because I think that's important, keeping that. You see people that make it really big, and then they stop talking to those people that were in it with them, in the holes prior to that. And I don't ever want that to happen. I want to be able to like reach back, and like I want to be able to keep this connection with everybody, and vice versa. If you pop off and you're getting like Stone Mountain big, like I hope that you reach back out and you're saying, hey, this is the things that I did and changed, and this helped out the most. Because I promise you, there's enough people for all the streamers to go around once Facebook figures out how to bring all those people over to the video or the gaming world.
Correct.
I think that there's so many people,
Yeah, and
what it's like 2 billion or something, and then or ridiculous on Facebook.
Yeah, to your point, man. I mean, like you said, this is not about my individual growth. Like before on the podcast, when I had Bites on as a guest, yeah, it was about my individual growth. But at this point now, like, these podcasts are about like, how can we put our heads together, and how can we get other streamers other, maybe not like-minded streamers, but other streamers who feel the same way. We want differing opinions about this platform, trust me.
Yeah.
We would love to have that conversation in the Discord and talk about stuff on these podcasts, but you know, everything that Bytes says is 100% true in terms of trying to educate streamers, because I know it's not just Bytes and I that look at this stuff and go, well, you know, what the hell is going on with my page right now? There is a lot of streamers out there that are trying to figure out how to weave the ins and outs of this platform and do what Facebook wants them to do. And we're just here to try and provide an outlet for that sort of stuff and some insights, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway, go ahead.
That'd be a good segue. That would be a good segue into chasing the algorithm.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Good thing. And then we can talk about kind of the comments and everything after that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So go ahead.
Yeah, so I think we've noticed like a big thing. So there's something going on, right? You guys will notice like people like I think Last of Us 2 is one of the biggest things that you kind of check out, right? Like look into the Last of Us 2. The people that are streaming that currently are pushing out like 3,000 CCV, 1,000 CCV, 900 CCV. They're getting like 6,000-7,000 reactions on their streams. All of this. So it seems like Last of Us 2 has broken into this language barrier, because if you guys don't know, if you guys go to your search bar on your personal Facebook and you type in a game, right, and then you go down there, you'll see one streamer that's at the very top, right? If you're primarily in an English speaking country or whatever like country you're in specifically, most likely the highest rated streamer is going to be there for you, right? Mm-hmm. But if you go down a little bit more to the one underneath and you start scrolling over to the right, you'll get to where your language kind of ends, and then you'll get into like the other streamers, like whether they speak Thai or they're Filipino or whatever it is, and it'll kind of start rolling, or Spanish, and you'll kind of start seeing those other streamers, and their numbers will be very, very, very high. But why are they not getting recommended to you? Because they're not within your language reach. Okay, so now is what we're starting to see some of these games, whether it be The Last of Us 2, Among Us kind of did that. I think Call of Duty Mobile did that too for a little while. But these games kind of catapult you into this non-existent like this just plane of like non-existent language, and so you'll just be getting everybody in there. It doesn't matter who it is. There's some like kind of break in the algorithm that like allows you to be reached out by like in Egypt and the Philippines and in Singapore and in China, right? And like you're just like all of a sudden you're just like filling up with all these people that are like
like
popping
the
in.
Floodgates open from like the United States. You're reaching the primarily English speaking countries, and then all of a sudden, boom, it just opens up.
But this doesn't turn out good.
No, it does not.
It's great if you're trying to push for stickers, or you're trying to push for like a specific number for something to be, open up for you or whatever it is. But like your engaged follower rate is going to plummet to the ground. Okay. Like it's happened to me. It's happened to me personally. Like with ATS, I got featured, as we talked about last week, and I had 3.3 thousand people in there watching. I got a ton of followers. I was averaging about 400 to 500 new followers every stream. Okay. Now my engaged follower rate is 17%, which has dropped down even more than before, right? Live notifications is still at 20%, but those are like the hardcore people that like enjoy watching me. But like these other people, when they swarm in there and they start hitting those reactions and follows and all of that, all that's doing is just, it's making your numbers look bigger, and that's all. It's not helping in any kind of way whatsoever. Now, if you can make a connection with one of those people that comes in there, then it's worth it if they stay around. But most likely you're not going to see a big returning viewership, and which is a real key algorithm to keep an eye on. Returning viewership is like one of those keys that you want to sit at a high level at. You don't want to be like, returning viewers for the week is 40 and you have, 200 and something people watching you. Right. That means none of those people are coming back to watch you at all. Right. So definitely is something to pay attention to on that. But it's not always the best thing for you. It's not always the best thing for the channel. It's not going to catapult you to success or anything like that. You're not going to see a lot of people you're not going to get any monetization things for it. You're not going to get the stars, and you're not going to get supporters, right? It's all about connecting with those people that are in your chat now. So just cautionary tales.
Yes, cautionary tales indeed. And honestly, you want to know something funny? When I look back at my Borderlands 3 streams from the end of 2019, like when you look at these streamers with their Last of Us 2 streams, and we're gonna harp on the Last of Us 2 because it's the biggest proponent of what's like. This is the biggest like, I don't the biggest game that seems to be getting this kind of push right now, or the biggest offender, I should say, I suppose is the word I'm looking for. But when I look at these people streaming The Last of Us 2, here's what I see. All right, I see nobody commenting in their chat because the language barrier. I see questions being asked about what game is this and what is that thumbnail you're using. And then I see a lot of angry reactions on the streams.
Yes.
Angry reactions and sad reactions are negative engagements for your stream. Those are not good.
Yeah.
And it's because people are being baited with that thumbnail, man. They think they're about to click into something, you know, crude, lewd, and maybe a little bit, you know, X-rated or something. And they don't. And now they're upset because... So now they're leaving the streamer negative reactions and stuff like that. You think the streamer is going to continue to get pushed on a game like that? No, I don't think so. And number two, like, yeah, the reactions and stuff might be great. But Bites and I were talking about this before we started the podcast today, where we think it's more the comments that drive the engagements of the streams here than it is even the reactions and stuff like that too. So again, cautionary tale. I think this is what happened to me on Borderlands 3. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I would get massive views and good followage numbers, but the likes and the comments weren't matching up. And by matching up, I mean, listen, man, like, you get a couple thousand views, you should have, you know, a certain amount of reactions and comments to kind of reflect the views that you're getting. If you're getting 100,000 views and have 100 reactions and 500 comments on your stream, something's not matching up there. You know what I mean? So anyway, to what Bites said, it's a cautionary tale. You could chase algorithm. You can do that and you can make a career out of it. But then you've become like one of these streamers who streams a single game, where you're pigeonholed now into chasing games that are always getting pushed for your numbers. And that's not the way to do it either. That's not organic either, in my opinion. But anyway, I wanted to move on to the whole comments thing, because I know we had mentioned that, and you had talked about thinking comments are more engaging. And it's funny, the example that you used.
You want me to use that one?
If you want to, you can. Go ahead, man.
I think I started noticing it a little bit more when Panda was streaming. Panda kind of came into the stream and he was like, okay, you know, he starts out the stream and then he just starts off on this tangent about like what's going on with the algorithm, the Facebook stuff, all of this other stuff, and he just goes off on this tangent, right?
For about an hour.
And people were responding really quickly in his chat, right? But one thing I was watching the CCV. The CCV just kept going up and up and up, right? Because for one, people enjoy that, right? They love the social aspect of streaming. One of the big reasons why they watch it is not just to watch the game, because if they wanted to watch just the game, they would go on YouTube and they would watch the game. It's the live aspect, and then and the live aspect drives the social aspect. So they enjoy the actual talking of the streamer and stuff like that. So when we're in there and we're talking, we see comments kind of coming in there and rolling in. Now, what is the most important thing for Facebook is got to be comments, because for one, comments are not, unless they get spammy, right? Unless it's like someone just keeps putting in one, the same thing over and over again to drive comments up. Facebook's going to know that.
To that point,
Facebook's going to be able to tell. I
wanted to interject too. You think that it might be a combination of both comments? Because I know if you look at your distribution after every stream, the biggest metric that they always say is your 1 minute video views. So do you think it might have worked in tangent with the 1 minute, like people were sticking around for like 2, 3, 4 minutes to watch it, sort of thing, and also commenting?
Yes. I think they do probably play a role together, but I think the most important is comments, because it's the only aspect that can't be essentially faked as much as a reaction. So reactions come in and it takes one little hit of the button and that's it, right? And they go out. Not fake, but more engagement, right? Because Facebook wants more engagement. Comments, on the other hand, are someone's coming in there, they're taking the time out of their day to go down into the comment section and type something out and then hit send. That's engagement. That is the highest level right there of engagement on Facebook,
and
because
it's
reactions, shares,
for Facebook too. It's easily measurable.
And I want you to know that something I looked at. So I streamed on YouTube a couple times to do some research, right? One thing YouTube utilizes is how fast your comments are coming in and from how many different viewers. And it shows you that metric while you're streaming, right? So normally I was at like a 6 and I would go up to a 10. And this would be like the average amount of like viewers that are commenting and being active in the chat.
Gotcha.
I imagine there's a reason that that YouTube is looking at that. And I would not be surprised if Facebook is also doing the same thing to kind of be like, oh, okay. Like they're reading, okay, these are, there's 20 different people in there and each one of them are commenting. Okay, cool. Like we're starting to see something. This guy's doing really good. Let's go ahead and start pushing him out.
I think Twitch does this
more active viewers.
I think Twitch does this too, where you have to actually actively chat in the chat to be counted as a viewer on Twitch. I think that's how Twitch calculates that too.
Yeah, so there's something to that. No, you're right. Yeah, no, there's something to that. There's something big to that, and I think comments from different people. So, getting those people that are lurkers to comment at least once or twice here and there, I think is really key. One good way to do that: talk about food. The second good way is like, where is everybody watching from right now?
Right.
I promise that's a good one because people love the comment. It's a simple comment. They don't actually have to engage, and they know that it's going to start popping off. People like, Georgia, Florida, England, whatever it is, and they're starting to pop off with that. And guess what? Now Facebook's like, okay, all these people are commenting, all these different people. All right, cool, let's push it up. So I really think comments play a big, big role in that whole scheme of things for Facebook. So
yeah, it's an interesting point, and I think it is comments, and I think like we mentioned earlier, it works in tangent with the 1 minute views and everything. And it's interesting to hear that that's how it works on YouTube, because I know I'm like 99.9% sure that this is how it works on Twitch too, where you need to actually comment as a viewer to be counted as an actual viewer in the stream too. And it wouldn't surprise me if that truly is the case with Facebook, because I mean, what's a 1 minute viewer, right? Like, you're someone who stays in the stream for 1 minute, but how does Facebook know that you're in the stream? You know what I mean? Unless you either engage with the stream, like it, or comment on the stream, right? So
I feel like they're watching that kind of stuff. Like when you're clicked into something, I think they do watch like how long you've been in there. I think it's like one of the weird things that Facebook does for sure. But yeah, I just think like there's something more to that. Like, yeah, they're there for a minute and then they comment. Okay, this streamer is engaging. There's something about this streamer that's different, and all those algorithms are there for us to see, right? Why would Facebook care about 3-second viewers? Why would Facebook care about 1 minute viewers? Like what is the point? And why would Facebook care about engagement, right? Why do they count comments as engagement? Because they do. They count every comment as an engagement.
Right.
So this is something that we have to take into consideration when we're streaming. Is like, okay, we want to make Facebook happy, right? So we want to keep them in there. 3-second views are bad. I believe 3-second views are bad. Okay, because that means that people are coming in there for 3 seconds. They're leaving as quickly as they could get in there, right? 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That's it. They're gone. 1 minute. Now they're staying there. They're watching for a little while. Okay. Now Facebook is watching them. They're saying, okay, oh, they commented. Let's go ahead and send this out to 10 more people and see if they do the same thing. Right. And that's how Facebook works. I've talked about it before. They send the notifications out in batches. I've seen it today. I saw it today happening when I would drop down from 260 CCV down to like 200. All of a sudden, Facebook would come in there and be like, all right, oh, he's dropping down. Let's get him back up to 260. And then he'd throw it out there, because if you guys look at my CCV after these streams, they're like a straight line like this all the way across, because Facebook measures how many followers and non-followers I have in there. And for some reason, who knows why they choose 260 as a number, because before it used to be 220. Now it's 260 for today. And they were just like, I don't know. They filled it in. They're like, all right, guys, we have room for 60 more people. Let's go ahead and bring them in. All right. These people are staying. These people are commenting. These people are following. Okay, cool. Oh, we lost 20 people. Bring them in. Like, it's weird. It is so weird. I don't know where they get that number or anything like that. But There's something about it that Facebook sends out these batches, and it's based off of, I believe it's based off of comments engagement, wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. We were talking earlier or before we got on here, and I know I've mentioned it on past podcasts. Being on this platform for almost 2 years now, like I saw Facebook before before the current iteration of Facebook with these engagements and comments, and two things that they either took it away completely or they've baked it into the algorithm and it wouldn't surprise me if they baked it in based on what we're seeing with comments and 1-minute views, et cetera, et cetera. So here's the programs, right? But back in the day, you used to be able as a streamer to stream a certain amount of hours and be put in tiering programs, bronze, silver, or gold. For streamers who stream 30 plus hours a week, you were in gold tier, then you drop below that, you're silver, etc. And what that did was, first of all, it showed Facebook that, hey, you're a serious streamer and you're streaming close to full-time hours a week. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give your viewers a chance to earn more free stars to drop on you or anybody as a streamer, right? So that's...
God, I wish they would still do that.
I wish they would still do that too. I really do. Either that or they baked it into everything, and people... Like, I know people have gotten free stars in my stream, but it's so few and far between. It might be like once a month that it happens in my streams. Here's the other thing that they took away more recently than the tiering system. Back, I would say 8 months ago, there was, if you as a streamer had a certain mark in comments and engagements on a stream, typically it was 100 reactions and 1,000 comments, one or the other or both, you would be labeled as an engaging post, and that engaging post would then be pushed to more timelines. I can't tell you how many times I would see these things scrolling through my news feed or whatever.
Oh, they just changed that. They just changed that too, didn't they?
It feels like they just changed it, but it was like literally like 6 months ago at the very...
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I remember seeing Halford Sucks. I would always see once he reached 1,000 comments, he would be labeled as an engaging post. Yeah, that's right. I guess I haven't seen that in a while, so they must have taken that out.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I think me and Panda kind of talked about it. I don't think they took it out. I think it's just, like he said, baked into all of this, because I believe that we are still all in tiers. I really do. I believe there's certain specific tiers that you're in, and every like month or so they kind of reorganize all the tiers. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and talk about this, because we mentioned it before the podcast last week, and we never got a real chance to talk about, like, okay, you feel like you've moved up in a tier because of your CCV, but then there's partners coming, so that might change. Explain what you meant by that a little bit more.
So I really believe that they're like, we're all tiered based off of how engaging our posts are and where we're at. And so when we go up in these tiers, like whether I think it makes it easier. So like if Facebook had to take like everybody and they said, okay, there's one, let's just say there's 100,000 streamers, right? One out of 100,000 streamers, and rack and stack us from, depending on how well we engage from day after day and everything like that, it would be really hard for them to assign partners, right? So I feel like they go through and they set you off in tiers, because some people might have off days. Some people might take days off and not be streaming as much. So, and I don't think Facebook is one of those platforms that you have to be live every single day to grow a followership, because I took 2 full days off and I came back to even more people than I did before. So just know that you can take days off here and there. And I don't think it affects your algorithm input or anything like that. But I believe that at some point I dropped down in views, and Facebook re-tiered me into something higher, and they're like, okay, cool. Well, he's performing well in this rank, so let's go ahead and move him up to the next one and see what happens. And if I perform, that consistently
makes more sense
well,
now. Hearing you explain it again, it's like C rank, B rank, A rank, S rank.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
Sorry. Go ahead.
And then from there, they can go, okay, it's the 15th of. When is the next partner stuff come for US? I believe it's like going to be, you should like receive a notification on February 15th, I believe, for partners. And it'll be around March 1st.
March 1st, right.
For American partners, US partners. But there's something to that. And they can go, okay, tier A, you guys all made it. Congratulations. But then I believe you get put into the partner level, right? It's like gold on like Call of Duty Mobile, whatever you're playing, and you're like diamond, and you're like now you're going up against the partners, and that's where that's where it gets a lot harder, because you see a lot of partners across the board that are on a downhill grind, they're grinding for views, but they're going downhill and they're not getting pushed out anymore in a whole new tier and new level.
I have my opinions about that personally. I think it's because they give partner out too easily to streamers.
But
that's I know that they're trying to come up with a more standardized way of giving partner out instead of doing these invites, like actually hitting engagement or monetary metrics to actually qualify for the partner program. It's just not released yet, but I think now it's like they're giving partner away, man. Now it makes me feel bad saying that, because like both Bites and I are sitting here not partnered on Facebook, but at the same time, I also feel like it's kind of lessened the impact of what making partner on this platform actually means. You know what I like? Oversaturation. That's what I'm looking for. Oversaturated.
But like there's a lot of beautiful things about being a partner, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that kind of it's not this magical thing that's going to happen to you, and then all of a sudden you're going to be like Stone Mountain, or you're like Toast, or any of those guys. It's going to be a continual grind no matter what. Once you get that partner status, you're still grinding. You're still grinding to be up the top, because it doesn't matter. It's all about those personal connections that you make every day in every stream that are going to be the biggest thing, right? Like you see the streamer, like I was watching a thing on YouTube, was it Pokimane? I think it was Pokimane. She just did hey, some of the things I see that are off about streamers on Twitch. She just talks about Twitch, obviously, because she's on Twitch. But, it applies. It's like, it's engaging with your community. Unless you are a top tier Z-laner, whatever player, you need to be communicating with those people in your chat, and you cannot. I can't tell you how many times I've seen this where I go into somebody else's chat and they're getting on to somebody because they're asking too many questions, yet they're sitting at a CCV of like 6 or 7 people in there. That person that's asking those questions, you should pause that game and talk to them, because they're the only one talking to you right now and watching you and engaging in your comments. Do not get onto those people for asking questions, unless they're like really like personal and messed up questions. But if they're asking questions about the game because they truly don't know, tell them everything. Engage with them, because I've seen it like they had like 3 or 4 people in there watching them play a game, and they're like, no, this is how, they'll start off, and then the guy will ask another question. He'll be like, look, man, like I'm trying to play the game right now, and it's like, okay, well, obviously you just care about the game and not yours. So don't do that. Make sure you're engaging with those people. Pause the game if you have to engage with those people, because that is the most important you can do that time is connect with one person that day. That's that person. If he's asking a lot of questions, pause and connect.
Yep. I would agree with that 100%.
Don't yell at them.
No, don't
get mad at them.
Don't yell at yell at your followers, man. Don't get mad at them. Yeah, for sure. What did you want to? You wanted to move into something after
let's see.
The tiering system.
Well, I guess more so like kind of what I talked about, where I took 2 days off and I came back to a higher CCV. Yes. But I also think, don't just go live on your page. Facebook wants and Facebook needs you to be engaging as much as you possibly can. And if all you do on your page is go live, don't do that. There are so many. We talked a little bit about this last time, but Facebook pushes stories. Facebook pushes, they say all the time, I get a notification that says, your followers haven't heard from you in a while. Why don't you do a post? There's a reason why they want you to do that. They want you to engage followers, not just in live videos, but through posts that are engaging, right? I just did a post that, a friend sent me, and it did wonderfully. It was tell us what your pet is doing. Since we can't go out to bars, tell us what your pet is doing.
I saw that.
Tell us what your pet is doing right now, and say the guy at the end of the bar. And it was the funniest thing ever.
So funny.
But I had over 100 comments on that, like 50 reactions, and like 10 to 15 shares, I think it was. And so that is an engaging post. Facebook's going to know that's just a post and not a live video. So now I'm engaging people on a whole new level. Okay. And the same thing with stories. They're always pushing it. So accept that and go back and be like, hey, like, if you're not streaming, set up a day and time. Find out when your audience is the highest. Mine is at 5:00 p.m. Right? That's when you can look on Creator Studio and it'll tell you when your audience is online. The most of them are. It'll tell you when your followers are. Post at that time. Say, hey, here's an engaging post, and then that'll start posting up on their pages, and they'll start commenting back, and that'll cause people not to forget about you, essentially, right? So that's what I did. For 2 days, I did that, right? I got help from a fake page, which really helped me out, honestly, because a fake page popped up, and they're like, Bitesimo, you know, like this awesome streamer. It's my picture and everything like that. It was a fake page, but everybody sent me a message. They're like, hey, there's someone making a fake page. I make a post.
You made
and then
it,
I had like 100 and something reactions on that post. And it's like, hey, well, thanks. I appreciate that too, because not only that, you gave me engagement. And that's why top fan badge is such an important thing on Facebook, is because Facebook loves engagement and they love people that engage. So that's why you get that top fan badge, because you're helping that page more than you realize. Even if you're not a supporter or you're a star sender, if you're a top fan, you are helping that page grow every day.
Mm-hmm. And if you got fake profiles made from you, you know you've made it, man. Shoot, you're probably going to be partnered next month, Bites. That's what that means, basically.
Yeah. Let's see.
So yeah, taking days off, man, because we talked about that too. Like I was like, man, I feel like I could just use a day off, you know what I mean? But I also feel like, and I want to talk about my week this week too a little bit, as far as like Chrono Trigger and stuff, and playing a retro game and kind of blowing the filter out for the week. I will say this. When we talk about shares and stuff, when it comes to your streams, I would argue that for retro streams, I'm not saying you need to share the stream out 200 times, but find a retro specific group, because those viewers actually do care to come in from those groups and watch your streams. I think I've had the highest share percentage of viewers that I've had in months. Because I was playing a retro game, and Tori and my mods were sharing to retro specific groups. I garnered a few new followers because they're like, oh, Chrono Trigger, this game's amazing. Whoa, you know? And then you're like, yeah, awesome, man. Like, I loved it when I was a kid. But anyway, I think it's interesting the point that you brought up about my rant when I went on it, because I'd done this once before and the same thing happened. For that stream too, and it was back when Last of Us 2 came out, and I think I had 55 or 60 concurrent viewers listen to me talk about Facebook's algorithm and how this was, you know, back last March, you know what I mean? So to give you an idea of how long I've been dealing with this for on my page. I think there's definitely 100%. Something to be said about the comments and people sticking around for that, you know, 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minutes, throwing comments right away. This is why, like, I know Bites does it, and why I've started doing it. When I get on screen, number one, it's a cold open, and number two, I'm literally asking you to fire up reactions and comments like immediately, so that we can drive those engagements. But yeah, it was just interesting to see the whole share percentage this week from a retro gaming perspective, because normally we talk about how the percentage is like 1%, 2% maybe on share percentages, but with retro games it seems like it works kind of in the opposite. So
I wanted to talk about that real quick. I know I put cold open. Cold opens are good, right? But cold open doesn't have to be just you chit-chatting with your followers. So I've watched a few streamers that I think have taken my advice, and I feel like I may have led them astray a little bit on that. If you don't have viewers don't cold open with you just chatting, because there's nothing going to be chatting to. There's no one going to be there to chat to, right? So the second best option, if you don't have like an influx of viewers that come in like right off the bat, don't open up with a cold open with just chatting. Open up with the cold open right into your game, right into your gameplay. And this has been like I've heard a few like larger streamers that talk about this, and I've seen it a lot on Twitch, but they'll start playing the game before they even start streaming. And then they'll pause for a second, open up that stream and just start right into the game. And they're just playing the game. Okay. And then all of a sudden these people get these notifications. They come in, they're like, oh, you're playing this right now. You know, that's a much better way than if you don't have anybody that comes in there and tries to get first on their comments or any of that. Cold open into the game directly. And I think that's going to help you out 100 times more. And that's for the people that have like, you know, the average, you know, 0 to 5 CCV. Cold open into the game, and that'll help you garnish. If you do So if you open up with a stream starting soon and you're playing a good game that like people are interested in, Facebook likes, and they push you out to recommendations, and they come in, they say stream starting, they're going to leave immediately. They're not going to be a 3-second view. It's going to be faster than that. It's going to be a straight exit out. Now, if it's a game that's being pushed by Facebook and you open up and you're playing the game right off the bat and they get the notification, or you pop up and they go in, you're playing the game, you're going to keep them around for longer. And that is the advice for people that are streaming to, 0 to even like 9 people right there. Maybe even 10, like, because you're not going to get a big conversation out of 10 people. Like when I open up, it's a lot different, because I have a following. I have a very like strong following, and I open up and I can chat, and Panda, he has a lot of people that just like flood in, and he can talk to them, and they're commenting and stuff like that. But for somebody who's just starting out, or you're not getting a high CCV yet, cold open into the game, and I promise you that'll help out more than anything else.
Yeah. My God, I would agree with that 100%. And that's a good point that you bring up there too, because not everybody's going to have a flood right away coming into their streams, so you want to give them something. Yeah. And you're right, like I do see a lot of streamers that like right away, one in my bubble that does this is Serpies. I don't know if anybody follows her, but she fires right into the game right away. She's playing Apex, and right away when people click on her stream, they're seeing action and gameplay and stuff, and she might take a break to, between lobbies or between games or whatever to then chat and say stuff to her people. But I think that's a really, really good point to bring up for people who are still kind of on the lower end of the CCV to start their streams anyway. Now, let's say you get 20 people that come in after your first game, and that's when you want to break off and start talking to people. That might be a better time to do that.
100%.
I'm just agreeing with your comment. I don't really have anything else to add to that other than I think you're right. I think that's a good secondary option for people who don't have.
If you don't have people coming in there to chat, then go straight into your game. Don't even do a stream start. I throw out your stream starting screens until you're like Stone Mountain, or you're like Darkness 429, where chat can handle themselves, and you're still looking to build that community. Go straight into your game. Or if you have enough people where it's like 20 or 30 people that come in there, start chatting so that you can get those comments and reactions firing off. But go straight cold into the game. I mean, start playing the game and then just go live afterwards, and then be like already in the middle of a mission. Like it doesn't matter. Like those people are going to come in there. If it's just going to be way better. But if they come in there and see a stream starting, it's not good. It never works out. It doesn't. And the only reason that we have stream starting screens is because bigger streamers were doing it and people wanted to copy that, and they started copying it. Now it's like a regular thing. It should be out of your inventory completely. I don't have any stream starting stuff. I have a intermission screen where I just play clips of myself doing stupid stuff. I think that's always good to have, because if you're not sitting there and it's just a chair stream, unless you have a funny following that like think it's hilarious to make comments or send stars because your chair is streaming, like that's a different, like, which but I'm definitely in that level right now where like they just come in to I don't know, make fun of my chair maybe. I don't know. But I think cold starting is probably one of the best piece of advice, especially for new streamers. That's something I didn't do when I first started out, and I think it would have helped me quite a bit, because you want those people to stay around. And if it's you just chatting and they've never talked to you before, they're not going to stay around. But if you're in the middle of a Warzone match and you're like, there's like, 50, 60 people left right there, and you're like in the middle of a firefight and they roll into that, they're going to be like, they're going to stay for just that little bit longer. And that's going to help your recommendation level tremendously, especially if they stay around for a minute.
Agreed. And Arsenal in my chat, he's saying if you do run an intro, make it short, less than a minute. I would agree with that. Like you really like think about the human attention span, man. Like if it's not interesting or it's not engaging, like they're gonna leave after 30 seconds, so I would agree. Like I've got someone, to Bites' point, like my first scene on my Streamlabs is gone now. It was my stream starting like with the clip 2-minute montage. It's off my stream deck, it's off my OBS. Like I don't want it on there anymore. But I am also working with someone on like a little 20-second kind of very cool, clean, like stinger introduction to go right in. 20 seconds isn't a bad thing, man. And plus it gives people like, it's a countdown. It's like 5, 4, 3, Panda, blah. And then it's supposed to, like my logo is supposed to like burn out from the middle. And it's just like a cool thing to look at before we we roll into the speaking thing. But I agree with what Bites has to say. If you can't, I know we're just repeating ourselves. If you can't cold open and talk, cold open with gameplay, then for sure. And if you can't do either of those things, or you're setting stuff up, or you're nervous when you actually hit the go live button, then do like a 20 to 30 second stinger intro, something that, gets people hyped. Like, oh, we're rolling into it now, not like a stream starting screen with like a 2.5 minute countdown. So people are going to come and go at that point. So, yeah.
I think if you're nervous about, all right, if you're nervous about this is just a thought process for me right now, but like if you're nervous about going live in front of a lot of people, I would suggest finding streamers like myself or Panda, or like other people who let followers and supporters play along and everything like that. Get involved in that community, right? Start playing those games with them online, whatever it is, so that your voice is starting to be heard by a lot of people at one time. And I think that'll make you a lot more comfortable when you initially start streaming. So, because I want you to know, when you create that page and you go into it, it almost seems like you're on a time limit with Facebook, and they're like, okay, they got 1 year to figure this out. Like after a year, we're going to archive the crap out of this page, and they're not going to get, I honestly feel like that a lot of the time. And from what I've seen, it's like after a year mark, people just suddenly drop off, and I'm scared to death when I hit my 1 year mark. But like, I'm hoping, like I get enough, push, and I have enough support across the board, which I feel like I do, to make it past that. But like, I feel like it could just drop off, So I think as soon as you go live with that page, it's almost like a countdown to see how well you're doing, because Facebook is a new streaming service. This is what they want. They want the people that are popping off. That's what they want, because they have to pay large sums of money to bring over Toast, and they have to pay large sums of money to keep Stone Mountain around. And then these other streamers, they're putting them under contracts. They're trying to get them. It just the way it happens. So they want people that are like, whoa, look at how good this guy's doing. He's garnishing quite a bit. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and pull him in. And I think that's really how it happens. So once you go live, try to have some play with other people and get used to that, talking in front of large portions of people, for sure.
Yeah, Arsenal was asking about the importance of thumbnails.
We can go into Q&A if you want to.
Text, and I will say this. We can certainly touch on it. We have been live for about an hour, so if we want to roll into Q&A, we can certainly do that. But I know we talked about thumbnails and all that stuff on our first podcast. We can certainly touch on it again. It is important to have thumbnails and all that sort of stuff. But if you want to see kind of more of our thoughts on that, either check out the podcast on Spotify or go check out our podcast from 2 weeks ago. And those are on YouTube as well, chopped up into the more of the highlighted points on my YouTube. I know Bites has posted. Did I emailed you that second one, didn't I?
I already posted it up.
Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, so you can go check that out on my YouTube. If Bites wants to talk about his YouTube, you guys can go check that out here. You can go check it out on our Facebook pages. You can check it out on Spotify. And there's like 5 other places that the podcast has been posted to for audio only that I can grab for you guys. But Spotify is the biggest one out of all of them. So
yeah, you guys don't want to subscribe to my YouTube. I do weird stuff on there. I don't know what happens. But I'll real quick, I wanted to show something to you. I don't know if you guys can see this, but so Panda has, a Stream Deck, and Elgato Stream Deck, right? And I was like, man, what's the point of these Elgato Stream Decks, right? So I went on there and I was like, wait, there's an app for it.
There is.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been using it. I used it today for the first time, right? And it is absolutely wonderful. I set up my phone right here, and then when I switch over to I don't know if you guys can hear this or not. I think it's set up through.
Can you guys hear that?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so that goes right through on my phone. That was quick too, right? And then I can switch over to I would be there on my screen. You can't really see, but it's a wonderful piece of advice or device to have, because you can set all kinds of things and maneuver it all around. I'm doing that right off.
Make sure you let people know what the monthly cost is to that, though, because that's for me.
What is it?
That's the reason why I have the actual Stream Deck and don't have the app, is because it's like $10 a month to have that app on your phone. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure. I know it's a small cost, but I'd rather pay the $150 once and then have it forever. You know what I mean?
It's free for the first month, I believe. So there's that. So you can give it a try before you actually buy it.
Sure.
But I love it so far. And,
I'm sorry. $4 a month. I was way off. Sorry. It's a $4 cost a month. That's
That's reasonable.
That's what you pay for. That's less than you pay to support me a month, Panda Fam. There you go.
Yeah, a lot. That's a vanilla latte right there.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I would suggest it. It's really nice because you can assign all the buttons. But I just found it. I think it's something to check out because I have a little old prop that I use right here with my phone. I put my phone in it, and then I can switch between my voices. I can switch between my stuff. I can switch between screens, and it's amazing. So definitely check that out. But yeah, we can open it up to Q&As if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if anybody, like, I haven't seen many questions coming through on my stream chat. They're just pretty much replying. I don't know if you have any questions coming in, but
let's see.
if anybody's got anything to throw up into the chat that they want to ask or want to know about, please.
Yeah.
By all means. Thank you to everybody who's come out and reacted to the streams and made comments. I've got my alerts off. I know Bytes does too.
It's on Apple Music, right? Our podcast.
Let me check real quick. Hold on. If it's not, it's one of the options that we can. I believe it's one of the options we have that we can put it on there. But let me see. Manual distribution. So we would need. I think we would need an iTunes account or an Apple account in order to put it up there, but it's not like these other 6 platforms. Anchor automatically posts the podcast to those 6 platforms for me. With Apple, with Castbox and Overcast, I need to actually have an account, like grab the RS feed and then upload it. I do have an iTunes account, but for me personally, I'd like to make another one with my Tambourine Panda page. So I keep my personal and my stuff separate. Yeah. But it is an option if you guys have Apple as well too. We could get it up there as well too.
That app is called Stream Deck, Elgato Stream Deck. You can go to the website and then you can also, I think it's on Apple Store. That's where I got it from, was Apple Store. Just type in Stream Deck. But I mean, $4 a month to try it out. And I think the first month is free. I think that's what I got. It said, so it's worth it though, because being able to switch rotation, stuff like that makes it so much easier. Especially because I think you should always be streaming through your Creator Studio and not through Streamlabs. So I keep Streamlabs pretty small and then Creator Studio all over the place. But have you noticed an update in the Facebook lately with the CCV notifications on some of the streams, and like some of the streams look different to me.
See it, like I know a lot of people this week have had issues where they do see CCV or the viewers, some don't. I'm thinking they were doing updates. With that, one thing to mention too, and I'm glad you mentioned Facebook and updates. For those of you who didn't see the post on Twitter yesterday, Facebook has updated their terms of service to include cheating, hacking, stream sniping, botting as a demonetization offense. This doesn't mean that the people are going to be banned off the platform. It just means that they can't get monetized. So Facebook is making an effort, at least taking a step to try and get cheaters off of their platform.
Here, I got a question from Chase here. We talked about cold starts, but interested in the ending of the streams. For the people who average 3 to 5 CCV, would you recommend rating another streamer or just ending the stream?
I mean, as far as rating goes, like I don't ever look at any number of viewers as too few or too many to raid someone. Yeah. So like to answer that question, I would say, yeah, raid somebody. Yeah. Not only is it a good way for you to, most streamers, the way that this etiquette thing works, and I use etiquette in quotations because there's no book anywhere. It's just kind of an unwritten rules sort of thing. When you go and raid somebody, that gives you free reign on your page to talk in that person's chat. Most streamers, if they get raided by a page, they will ask that, you know, hey, Panda Raid. And it's like, oh, how was your stream, Panda? Thanks for raiding me, man. Welcome in, Panda Fam. That's your little into their chat to be like, hey, you know, how are you doing? Yeah. Here, how's your stream going? What are you playing? Yeah. What other stuff do you like to do? You know, it's a way for you to kind of grow that bubble without being invasive about it. You know what I mean? So I always look at rating people as a benefit. Yeah. Always.
Yes. To piggyback on that, how do you find somebody?
Usually lately what I've been doing is I've been asking my chat, sorry for the crinkling. What I've been doing lately is I've been asking my chat if they have anybody in their bubbles. And I've met a few new streamers doing this over the last couple of weeks. People that I've never known of or didn't like or didn't follow, or maybe followed me and I didn't follow, sort of thing. So I've been asking my chat a lot. Sometimes I'll just be like, hey, first person to put someone's name in there, we'll go to them. Or if like the majority say a particular streamer, we'll go to them. Sometimes I'm just like, you know what? You guys are getting sent to someone in the bubble that I created before, you know, this whole bubble thing came about. One of the streamers that I know. So we're going to go support them today. So there's no like method to it.
I think this goes hand in hand with, I agree with you, first of all, on the first part with, I think rating is very important. This is a way, if you raid somebody and they don't ever come back to your stream and they stay at their stream, don't feel like you lost you lost a viewer, yes, but remember that like at the end of the day, like you've helped somebody or led somebody to find something that they enjoy doing, and we all need that in our lives already. So don't feel like you've lost somebody, but feel like you've led somebody to a place that they might like more. There might be a personality match, but they would have left at some point anyway. So I don't think I wouldn't worry about it too much about losing viewers or anything like that. Try not to raid too big. I tried that today. I was like, let's see if Darkness 429 will say anything to me. And even people sent him stars like Bites raid stuff. He didn't even say my name one time. I was like, man, that sucks.
That's like how Toast was for us that one time when we all 10 of us.
Toast doesn't read chat.
Yeah, no, of course. Yeah. Nothing. He did like nothing. None of the chat, none of the stars. 10 raids and nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, so like, I mean, I would definitely raid somebody. Like, I was just wanting to try it out and see, like, what because I look up to Darkness 429. I enjoy streams. I really like his equipment and his he's really good about like talking to chat. But he was playing Tarkov to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that game requires intense concentration because you miss like one little movement and you're dead.
Yeah. But oh my god.
With the raids, I would say you're never too small to raid. Exactly. And the best way to pick it out is start networking with other streamers. I mean, I use the best example was the first streamer that I really knew about was Legendary Gaming, right? Like he was he was a much bigger streamer than me, and I didn't even know that he was in my streams because he used his personal account. And I don't think it's a problem using your page or your personal account, but he would just like talk to me and chat with me, and he'd bring people over and they would talk to me, and I'm like, man, like these guys are awesome. And then I kept getting a like from Legendary Gaming at the same time I got it from him, and I was like, wait a minute, is this Legendary Gaming? And I went over and I was like, oh my god, this is the same person. He never once mentioned that to me. But then like after that, like we built a friendship based on that, and it's like, okay, like this is the way to network. This is the appropriate and civil way to network. Not go in and be like, hey, follow my page, I'll follow you back. Like that's not it. It's like going in there, integrating with the community, and then being like, hey, I'm also a streamer. Just like Moon Mochi did, just like, Mel G did, like all these streamers that like are brand new, or Talitha, like all of them, when they come up, they're already in the community. They're intertwined with the community, and now they start streaming, and they already have that backup. And usually that helps right off the bat with increasing your CCV tremendously. Like look at Jekyll, right? Like Jekyll is he's a streamer. Well, he wasn't a streamer. He just played with me on Among Us like several times. He had like a really enticing voice, sounded really good. And I was like, man, you should start streaming. You'd get a lot of followers. And that's how like he built a community, and now when he goes live, it's like, it's a large portion my followers, but I think he has some new ones now that follow him, which is really cool to see him growing. But like he took that community, and now he gets like a 15 to 20 CCV right off the bat. He just started streaming. He only streams like once a week. So this is like integrating with those communities is the best way. And that's being an active member in that community. Honestly, if you took a month to just like become parts of those communities and then started streaming, your chances of success would be like 10 times more. Right. I believe that wholeheartedly. So before you even start streaming, that's a really good piece of advice right there. Before you even start streaming, get involved with these communities and then move over to streaming from there. And I think you'll do a lot better, and you'll get that CCV right off the bat. That'll help you get those recommendations across the board.
I agree with that. That's a good point that you bring. Jekyll's kind of an exception case, like but like look at Ruffer or whatever, for example, like same sort of thing. It's I know he didn't start as a gamer with us, but he's had the kind of the benefit of networking and getting growing his bubble right away with you or me or whoever else. So, you know, maybe not such an exception in Jekyll's case. Maybe, you know, there's something to be said about that. I do have one question from Kara in my chat. As far as what's a good way to have a streamer adjust their camera angle, like giving advice to a streamer when something is off, sort of thing, as a viewer.
Just tell them.
Just tell them. Yeah, just tell them. Yeah. I personally will ask like audio levels and stuff like that, or if things look crisp or sound clean or whatever. Don't ever hesitate to tell me. Tell me, and tell the streamer too. Some people won't take it well, but just always remember that in your head, you're helping them out. You're trying to help them with the quality of their stream. So yeah, just communicate it, man. Just communicate it.
Please tell us.
Please tell us. Do.
I don't like. I don't know how many times I've gone live and like there'll be something that's messed up and no one tells me. Like I played American Truck Simulator and my steering, I didn't have my noise cancellation on. And so all you heard was the steering wheel clicking back and forth. And I did that the entire stream. I think people just thought it was a normal thing, but it wasn't. It wasn't meant to be in there. So, I mean, just tell the streamer what's going on. And if they get mad at you or upset at you, then just leave, because that's not a personality you want to be around anyways. But it's like, oh my God, like what? Like I need to fix that right now. You know, I think that's the key right there. So.
I agree. That was just the only question that I had so far in my chat. Do you have any other folks firing off questions for you?
James says we need to come up with a way to test new games on Facebook. So me and Panda and James and Ginge Dad have all talked about this quite a bit in detail, but like there's specific games on Facebook that you can play. So Facebook has kind of rallied behind big name games, right? And they recommend people based off of that, because the more people that are following that game, the more people that are more likely to come in to watch the streams. Because right now Facebook is trying to grow. They're trying to grow their gamer fan base. Instead of just being a social media site, they want to be not the laughing stock of the streaming. You know, they want to be like, okay, you know, considered next to Twitch and YouTube. And they're trying to bring people in. So Facebook picks out those bigger games, and you could go on the Facebook fb.gg and you can look at all those games that they have based on how many people are watching them and which ones are the biggest ones and all of that. And you'll notice there's a big movement towards mobile games. And that's because there's a massive Filipino fan base that kind of pushes that up. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like this is moving more so to the United States, where like a lot more people are playing mobile games, and you'll notice them taking the top spot. I think the first 3 spots are mobile games, which is really interesting. So definitely pay attention to that. But you'll see all kinds of games right now on those top list of games is Rust. Yeah. Rust has been out for a long time, but I imagine that we're going to start seeing Rust popping off, kind of similar to how
it is on Twitch right now. It is on Twitch. Yeah. Maybe and not.
It's on Facebook.
Maybe not like that weird one streamer to rule them all BS that's going on with The Last of Us 2, but like, I would agree with you. I think Rust is going to start popping. I've seen some folks on Twitter talking about. Well, here's the funny thing with Rust. Like, I don't want to name names of the streamers, but they're like, let's all get a group of Facebook streamers together and bring variety gaming back to Facebook. Let's all jump on Rust. And I'm like, well, aren't you just moving the saturation from like Warzone to then Rust? Like, isn't that completely defeating the purpose of being like promoting variety streams, is taking everybody and move, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, you're right. Rust is going to be good, I think, you know, moving forward. I don't know, what other games do you think are going to start popping? Like Among Us seems to kind of be tapering a bit. Although for you today was really good. Yeah.
Among Us is really, really good for me. But here's an interesting statistic that you guys might not know. If you guys watched my stream earlier today, I had 260 people CCV the entire time, right? Mm-hmm. 260. But I want you to know that only 60 to 70 of those people were followers. The rest was 200 of them were non-followers. 200 of them. That means that they're cycling through my stream. They're watching it through free plays when they're just scrolling through.
What's your average watch time on those videos? Do you know?
Like 500 hours usually.
No. Like how long are people sticking in the stream and watching on average for?
Well, it depends. When it's a lower CCV, it's usually like I think it's like 29 minutes or something like that.
Your average watch time is 29. Someone stays in for 29 minutes. Damn.
For the low ones, the ones that aren't like a heavy follower recommendation basis.
Okay.
Those are the people that stick around like the whole time, and they're like the hardcore biters. But like for like those ones, that's where it plummets. It's like it's seconds, I think it is. Like today, I got 60,000 total views, and I had a 260 CCV for 4 hours. So think about how many people were rotating in through there so fast like this, right? How many 3-second views I got on all of that. So that's something that's scary with Facebook, right? It's the volatility of it. Because I saw what happened when those people went away, when I stopped getting recommended, and I went down to, like, which is really good still, 50 CCV, like that's 50 to 60 CCV. So just when you start getting into that realm of being recommended on Facebook, and you see how many non-followers and followers you have watching at one time, there's something about those people, and you're trying to make a connection with those people so that they stay around, and that's really hard when they're just coming through at a rapid rate. So just be wary of that. I feel like that happens to a lot of the partners that we see. They hit those milestones that Facebook wants to see, and then Facebook goes, all right, you're a partner, and they put them in this whole new tier, and they're not getting recommended next to the other streamers, and all of a sudden they're just like plummeting in views. So be aware when you do get up to those CCVs, when you're getting recommended a lot, those CCVs are false numbers. They're not real. They're real people, but they're
right.
People scrolling through their Facebook,
it's so weird to quantify that. Like, they're real people, but they're never going to come back to your streams.
Exactly,
like that's what we mean. Well, that's what we mean by that. Like, you're getting the follows and the engagement on that one stream, but will they come back and watch you play, Fester's Adventure if you decide to play it, or Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy 6? Probably not.
Fester's Adventure.
Sorry, good. It's like the worst rated game on Metacritic, so like I use that game as like a stupid example of like I could play anything and people come watch me sort of thing.
Yeah. I think I definitely think there's
someone had
something about that. Yeah,
had a good question up here, and I'm trying to give me a second. I'm scrolling back up. Someone had a good question. Okay, Jash from my chat says, I got a question. I'm somewhat new to streaming my own. What is preferred for camera, green screen or keep the background? Now, I want to ask you about this because I used to use green screen. I've got one that attaches to the back of my chair, but I don't anymore for obvious reasons. I've got a background that I think keeps people kind of intrigued and their attention and stuff like that. I want to ask you though, Bites, because I would argue your background is definitely crisp and looks good and is colorful and is enough to keep people intrigued, but I know you use the green screen. What's the motivation behind that? Why do you do that?
Okay, so I believe on Facebook the people that are coming in here are non-gamers. Okay, so Twitch is set for Facebook. I say let me just get straight to the punch. Facebook green screen, Twitch webcam. Okay, so the reasons why is because my NVIDIA broadcast is messing up right now, so please forgive me. But definitely I think it's a key on Facebook is having a green screen. I think it's really important because a lot of the people that are coming in are non-gamers that are watching you for the first time, and they enjoy a green screen more than a webcam because it makes them feel like you're not taking up so much of the game. They're not so distracted by what's going on in their background and everything like that. So I really believe green screen does a better all around on Facebook. I just ran a poll, it's already 70% of people like green screen more. But this I've run polls like this before, and it's all green screen is always won out because I want to show off my background. I want to have like a cool background and everything like that. But it's not I don't think it's beneficial on Facebook. Now Twitch, they kind of base that off of what you have in the background. They're like, they probably go into your game before they're like, okay, I like this game, cool, but what's his webcam look like? Oh, what is that behind him? Like I don't think it's a big thing on Facebook. So I think going with a green screen will get you better and longer viewers personally.
I am wondering too, because like what I'd ideally like to do with that is I'd like to have my just chatting screen be just how you see it right now.
Yeah.
But then you know how like Stone Mountain does it, where he switches his game scene and then boom, he's got his green screen up and he's merged into the gameplay and everything. Without like you don't see him like get up from his chair and go pull up his Elgato slide thing or whatever. Like I'm always like that's the one next, like that's the next production thing for me, is how do I get it to where I can transition from my scene where I'm chatting and you guys can see my background to the gameplay where I've got the green screen activated. And I've been able to do that in some ways with the NVIDIA broadcast app, but the broadcast app, the green screen, and Bytes, you'll like, if you test with it, man, you'll understand what I'm talking about here. It's look, well, all right, move around, start moving around a little bit. Move your.
No, I can't. I can't move.
I can't move.
I can't. My hair will disappear.
That's what I'm saying though. It gets blurry. You know what I mean? It starts to blur when you have an actual green screen. That stuff doesn't happen. So I think NVIDIA broadcast app is a good program to use if you've got a graphics card that can do that, because you can just flip on green screen and flip it off like Bytes is doing
but it's
right
still
now.
in beta. It's still in beta, so that's why when I move around a lot, you'll notice that like it starts chopping out.
Chops.
Even though my CPU is running at 3% right now while I'm doing all of this, like it chops up a little bit. Yeah, but that's because of my 3070 that I got. Thanks for all the stars, everybody.
Yeah. You did just get a pretty beast computer. But anyway,
oh my god.
Like for me personally, I I see your point to the whole green screen thing, and it's interesting that you ran a poll and 70% say yes. Yeah. And I can, like I said, I can understand it, because you're right. Like Facebook is there, like they're there to watch the games, whereas Twitch maybe is there to watch like the actual person and the game itself too, or like it's different. Like it's a different audience on Twitch as opposed to Facebook's. So I see the point to the green screen. For me personally, I like it. I like using my background. That's just how I
know. And I like using a background too, because that's why I've asked so many times, because I'm like, I like having stuff in my background that people can ask about, you know, like whether it's like my old California license plate, my fireplace, like the signs, the cameras, the skimboard, all of that. Like I think it's a good conversational piece and people will ask about it, but
for sure,
people on Facebook they like a green screen. They like being immersed more so, and they can see more of the stuff. Like the best person to ask is a non-gamer. That's what you need to do. When you're doing something on Facebook, find a friend that doesn't watch games and doesn't play games. They like reading books or something like that more than anything else in the world, and go, hey, do me a favor, watch my stream. Tell me what you think about it. Just be straight blunt with me, and you will get what you need. They'll be like, well, you know, your sound was like really bugging me, or those little sounds that we're making, I didn't like that, or I didn't like how you had all your stuff in the back. It made it seem cluttered, but when you use the green screen, I like that better. I guarantee they're going to say stuff like that. And those are the people that are coming off of Facebook that have never watched a stream once in their lifetime that are watching you now, because I know a large portion of my CCV is based off of people that have never watched streaming. They play video games, they've never watched streaming, so they don't know. And what they see is their biggest streamers that use a green screen. Right. So definitely think about that before you go into it. Test it out too. Sure. And I think it depends on the game you play too. I know you've said that before, Panda.
Yes.
Like if you're playing, like you got to appeal to the people that you're playing for. Like
Lisa just asked that in my chat. She's like, do you think that's also based on the games you play? So go. Sorry,
if you're playing Warzone, you want a background like mine, because I think people are already in that gaming world. They understand Twitch and they already have an expectation of that. But I know a lot of successful streamers that use green screen on Warzone and they do really good. So, I mean, I would gauge your audience on it. Try a green screen and then try a webcam and see which ones they like. See which one you got a better, reach or CCV or whatever it is. And you can kind of find out, pull the crap out of them, Like that's a beautiful thing. You have this beautiful pull. And you can use it. Like I used it on the fly just now. And now, it's 73% like a green screen more than a regular one. Like that's a big difference right there. So make sure you check on what people want.
For sure. That was the other question that I had in my chat. Do you think it also based on what games you're playing? Do you have any other questions that you have in your chat that you want to field?
No. Yeah, Darkness has a really cool room. I think for a new recent streamer, do you recommend finding? Okay. Chase says, for a new recent streamer, how do you recommend finding your game? I see a lot of streamers that stream one game for months at a time. So how do I find what people are interested in without ruining? Okay, so this is something that me and Panda have gone into detail with.
A lot.
And Panda is a multi game streamer, just all about it. He loves playing different stuff. He loves playing nostalgic stuff. He likes playing new stuff, and I think Facebook punishes him a little bit for that.
Agreed.
Because I think the real key here is building up a community, and Facebook loves community, right? So getting those reoccurring viewers, I think, is the key. But when you're starting out, you have an opportunity to try a few different games, but once you find a game that you have to enjoy it a little bit, but it doesn't have to be like, I hate when people say play what you love, because then you're not going to be a successful streamer. I hate to tell you that on Facebook. You're not going to be a successful streamer. You have to play into the algorithm a little bit. You have to play games that are popular enough for Facebook to even recommend you, unless you have this backed up community that you've already built that can allow you to play those games. Because if you look at Panda, he's playing Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger, right?
Right.
Chrono Trigger, right? Yep. But he still has a pretty decent CCV. People would, he's still probably in the top 10% of Facebook, just because he has 15, 20, sometimes even more, 30 people in there I've seen, but they're watching. It's because it's him, or it's a nostalgic game to them, but fewer than it's because it's him. It's more because of it's him. So once you build up that community, I would stick with one game, build up that community, and be like, hey, you guys mind if I try a different game? And they'll be on board because they like you and not the game so much. And that's what you got to do. You have to brand yourself and not the game, because as soon as you stick with one game, you become that game, and you are like, look at Toast, right?
Right.
Yeah, he still gets massive views when he's playing Minecraft or any other game, but nothing like Among Us. And I know he's put on Twitter before, he's been like, once Among Us burns out, what have I become? And I think that's really a go into. It's like, he's set himself into a limelight of just being an Among Us streamer, even though he plays all these different games, World of Warcraft or Minecraft or all that. So I'd be very careful. Brand yourself. Become something that people want to hang out with. Do a lot of just chattings, just chat with your community, have fun with them. That's why it's so important that beginning, chatting with them, is because it builds up a friendship almost, where they feel like they need to come back to you and help you out. And then from there, you can play all kinds of different games, and you can kind of branch out from there. But I would build that core community first, and then they will let you play the other games from there.
Right. It's no surprise to me either that most of my, for me personally, most of the stuff drops off as soon as I'm done talking. The CCV kind of dips a little bit after we're done with our just chatting thing, because people like to sit there and they like the interaction.
Yeah.
They like the engagement. They why, you brought it up earlier, why do you think that rant stream of mine was generating so much CCV? Is because people are sitting there listening and responding to me and stuff. So
it's so important. And
not saying Facebook, rant about stuff every day, but that the point is there. The point is valid.
Engage, man. Get those conversations started. If you need to pause your game and talk to your chat,
right? If
that's doing better than your game, pause that game and talk to your chat and have a good time with them for a little bit, and then go back into the game. Something ridiculous happens, pause the game and talk about it. Get the chat rolling and moving along, and that will help you tremendously. That's what people on Facebook want. That's the difference that they don't get in Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube chat is moving so fast, they don't even know what the fuck is going on, honestly. I go into Twitch one, I'm like, wait, what? Why are there so many emojis in here? I don't even know. I streamed on YouTube, and it was only people that I knew, but it was still going really fast, and I was like, what is going on? But now Facebook, you come in here and you engage with those people, and you're really connecting with them. They don't have all these massive emojis where it just takes over, and you get to engage and make a personal connection with these people. And I think that is going to pay out the most for you in the long run of becoming a big streamer, and for monetization later on down the road. This is the key. This is the way. All right.
This is the way. This is the way.
This is the way. This is the way.
Yes, it is. Kara had asked really quickly about cameras and stuff, and you know, do you think people can actually be success when they're not on camera? And I would say yes to that. It's extenuating, but yes. Look at Jekyll, for example. I think he'll be successful based on how like good and like radio quality his voice is, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely an extenuating circumstance. Like I would absolutely recommend have a camera if you're a streamer, and if you've got, you know,
you're gonna do better with a camera. 100%. You're gonna do 50% better than with a camera without. What is there a reason why you don't want a camera? You just don't like it on you, or?
Oh, are you asking them or?
No. Well, yeah, asking Karen. Yeah, I mean, like it's gotta be.
I think
there's only certain people. You look at Corpse Husband. You look at Jekyll.
Right.
These people have these like radio quality voices that like really like kind of tickle you in a different way.
That's the best way to say it, man.
Yeah, tickle you in a different way. So I think like if you have like a really soothing voice, and like there's it works both ways. There's good voices, like, you know, that just work, you know, and if you have like that kind of like nice, beautiful voice and you can just use it, that's going to help you go a lot further. And it's going to make it a little bit easier too, because you don't have to worry about what you look like. You can just kind of concentrate on engaging and talking a lot, but you're going to do way better with a camera. I'll tell you that right now. I got a message from, let's see.
Yeah, sorry, I was responding to some stuff in my chat too.
How much should people expect to spend on a setup? Jocelyn.
Does that setup include a PC or?
Here's the thing. You can start right now. There's an app called Omelet Arcade, right? Omelet Arcade, even Discord. I mean, you can stream directly from, obviously Omelet Arcade is going to let you get to your page or something like that. But you can play Omelet Arcade on your or run Omelet Arcade and play a game in the background and go from there. Like you could start off with no equipment, with just a little bit of equipment that's like the stuff that you have around, right? You can use this phone right here as a 1080p webcam.
Yep.
Through Elgato's Epicam, right?
Yep.
You can use this as a webcam. If you're running console, all you're gonna need is a capture card, right? You can buy cheaper capture cards, but an Elgato is one of the best. This is about 100. Yeah, this is about 100, and I bought this off eBay. So this is like $100, I think, and it's the HD60S, which I'm having issues with it right now, but probably because I bought it off.
Focus, camera, damn you. Sorry.
Yeah, but like these are the things that you like, and if you're running console, then you can use a pretty crappy computer, and you can still get it out there just fine. You can use, I mean, you'd be surprised.
Minimum specs, minimum.
And you can get it out there just as much. So don't let that get you down. Like if there's a will, there's a way. But like I said, get into those communities first and get to know those people in there. And then when you start streaming, you're gonna have those friends that you've made through that community that'll follow you over there and watch you while you're live streaming. So,
yeah, absolutely. And you don't need to have
like higher tier. Yeah, it's gonna change.
Even the microphone and everything too. Like you don't need super duper high quality to start, man. Like we probably couldn't give you an ideal like price range on what a setup would cost, but you can do this. Yeah, $3,000. You can do this for very minimal. Like I'm actually, we're building Lady Panda a PC, and I'm actually considering using her old gaming PC as a secondary setup, like PC setup, to run like Streamlabs through and stuff like that off my main PC. So you can use, like Byte said, if you're going console gaming, your specs don't have to be, they can be like the minimal of most minimal specs, and you can get away with streaming from that PC. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Like I mean, obviously, like I've spent a little bit of more money, but yeah, it's been crazy. It's been just like a rush of just like positivity and people coming in there and helping out, and like if you do well on Facebook, I promise that you can make this into a living too. I really do. I really believe that. Full time, everything like that. Like this is, and it's all about making personal connections and people that believe in you and making good content. You know, I have to tell you though, there are people that are not meant to be streamers. And I hate to say that.
We've mentioned this a couple times now. It's not for everybody.
It's just not for everybody, and they might not make it. But if you enjoy doing it, if you enjoy getting into it, keep going with it. Keep going. But you know, like this, it's just some people just. It's not for them. They don't like.
And there's nothing wrong with that either. It's just some people like have the personality naturally just seeping out of their pores, and some people it takes a little bit of work for you to get to that point. And for some people, no matter how much work you do, you're never going to get to that point. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I'd rather people be honest with themselves in regard to this than go on for a year or two and be like, well, I'm never like, this is not where I've got 500 followers after 2 years. This is not going to work for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know there's people out there that'll stream day in, day out to 0 viewers, and they could care less. They're doing something that they enjoy. Exactly. And all the power to them. And I watch those people every once in a while because I don't know. I'm interested in it. And I go into their chat and I'll just sit there and watch, you know, and I'm like, and he'll be able to tell, you know, you'll be like looking over, like, I got one person sitting in here, you know, like, but like, it's not for everybody. And it's not like it, you know, it's just like Coyote said, it's with every profession. Like some people are just gonna be really good at it. Right. Some people are gonna have to work really good. So that's where you got to define yourself. You got to define yourself. You got to either create a persona or, you know, like, you just got to be something different that people haven't seen. And I think that's really the key there. And some people don't want to take that plunge, you know, but like, I mean, I wear costumes all the time. I'm like, I don't know, you know, like I have fun with that. Like I like role playing into it. And so definitely just go with it and try to figure something that works. How do I manage my work and life balance? Right now, I'm kind of in a different situation. But the best way to do it is limit the amount of hours. You don't have to stream a lot of hours on this platform and still do good, honestly. Sometimes after 3 hours, I see my CCV dropping off. So don't make it too long. Every other day, don't overdo yourself with a stream every day or anything like that. Just take breaks.
Been considering that too, because I've been doing two a day all week long, and then I usually do 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday too.
You gotta give people something to miss.
You're exactly right about that. Before we got onto this podcast, like I was having conversation with my mods yesterday and some of my actual like friends outside of the streaming thing. And I'm like, they're like, man, you like, we haven't seen you go live the last 3 nights. And I'm like, to be honest with you, like the nighttime streams are probably going away starting next week. Yeah. Like 4 to 5 hours a day, give people something to look for, maybe even take like that Wednesday off like I used to, do these podcasts on Saturdays with supporter games, and then maybe something on Sundays as well too. But I agree that tease of your content is definitely an important hook too, to bring people back.
But fill in those posts, days with posts,
engagement,
Instagram stories,
Twitters. Get your stuff out there. Put a clip out there. Put some offline content out there. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
But, 2 hours.
Yeah, we're at about an hour and 40 minutes here. So I know there was one other question for me as far as helping someone get their computer a little better. Kara was asking, you can certainly upgrade computers like Alienware's, stuff like store-bought computers like Dell's or HP's. It's really tough to upgrade that stuff with any additional parts. Like, this is why I always recommend building your own PC, because you know what's compatible with what and you can always switch stuff out. But Alienwares are typically pretty good about you being able to exchange parts. Look up RAM, look up memory, look up the storage devices, and look up like another CPU and a GPU to possibly increase the speed on that Alienware, Kara.
Or go on Facebook store. Go on the Facebook store, look in your area for a used PC. Make sure it boots up, make sure it runs, and just go ahead and like buy a new hard drive for it and boot up from there. You might be able to find a really good deal. Like my PC that I bought originally, I mean, it was pretty beefy, but I mean, it all together, it cost me $900, right? But not only did I get a PC, I got this microphone that I'm still using right here. which has been used by another person for I don't know how long. And then I also got what else did I get? I got a keyboard, I got a mouse, and I got a screen. So I had everything I needed to pretty much start streaming except for a camera, which I already had. So look on at the used stuff before, because this might not be a long-term thing. It's kind of like, don't go out and buy a brand new motorcycle, buy a used one, because most likely you're going to lay it down at least once. So you know, like it's not if but when.
Right.
So definitely use a used one and go from there. I think that'll be the best option for you.
Sure.
And you can buy a fairly nice computer that someone's trying to get rid of, because especially streaming setups, because a lot of people kind of fail with it and they just want to get rid of it all, and they'll sell like the whole desk, chair, streaming equipment and everything for like a giant set price. Find those are where it's at. So
100% agree with that. Let's see, I don't have any other questions.
Nope.
I don't know if you have any other questions. Yeah. I think this is where we're gonna call it here, Panda Fam, on this week's podcast. Obviously, make sure you guys are checking out the pinned comments for that Discord. It is official. It's open now. I'll be taking the podcast here. As soon as I hit the end stream button, I'm going to download the video when it's, available in high resolution or whatever, because I need to chop it up. But then I'm going to upload it to Anchor, which will then upload it to Spotify. So it should be out there for you guys to listen to sometime in the next couple hours. So if you missed it today, you can always go there. We do these every single Saturday, and I try and chop up the highlights and put them out on YouTube, on my page and Bytes' page by Wednesdays. So make sure you guys are checking out that stuff as well too, if you missed it today on Facebook or didn't catch it all or whatever came in at the end. I don't have anything else that I wanted to say at the end here, Bytes. I appreciate you as always coming on for these hour-long podcasts. Maybe in the future here, in the next couple of these, we'll start talking about the subject of maybe bringing a guest or two on every so often and see if we can start bringing some more perspective into these podcasts with other streamers. But that's all I got
that area down there for a guest right over there, so that'll be perfect.
I got a nice little area down here. I'll just put them over my banner or whatever. Nobody needs to see that.
We'll stand up on top of them and talk to them.
There you go. Exactly.
I think these are really good, and I am excited to continue these. But definitely join up on the Discord. Read the rules. Don't no follow for follows, none of that stuff. Just get in there, ask your questions, and I'll try to answer as best as I can. I'm going to direct everybody there, because you guys don't know how many questions I get, but I'm going to direct everybody there. Go to the Discord and ask your question in there, because if something I can't answer, Panda might be able to answer,
right?
Or someone else that's dealt with it already can answer it. So definitely get in there. Let's build up a streaming community of people that are not going for the follow for follows, but that organic growth. Because that is the only way to do it, because you will burn out. You will look at these partners that have like 600,000 freaking people in there, and they get like 3 to 10 CCV because they're all bot or all fake, or they just didn't, they quit for a long time. And I don't know, there's just all kinds of reasons, but just the organic growth is the best way. So that's all I got.
This is the way.
This is the way.
This is the way. All right, everybody, have a good. Do you want to rate anybody now that I'm thinking about
it? I think Jekyll's on.
Yeah, let's go check out. Yes, he is to play in Detroit Become Human. All right.
What is it? It's Doctor. Why is he not up on my
Jekyll and Hyde? I've added him to my chain. That whole group from Wednesday is in my chain list now, so they just pop up automatically.
Oh, is that his face?
Oh, that's awesome. All right, let's go check out Jekyll and Hyde, guys. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Remember, we do these every Saturday. We'll be live, me with supporters later this afternoon on Among Us. So make sure you guys check that out. Enjoy Dr. Jekyll.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.